it to you again. Okay, all right. Okay, so please copy that link that I just sent you on the chat. All right. So that's the link to that portal where you have access to EndNote online video. It's like 1 hour full class on EndNote. And you have the live training, that's public training sessions anyone can attend. For example, there is one on April 21st. You just need to click on register and you get the details to connect. And there is also EndNote.com training. I'll send you that as well. All right. So that's another portal where you have training videos. I don't know if some of you have access to EndNote desktop, for example, but anyway, there are some short videos as well on EndNote online on all the functionalities. All right. So you have a reference guide and you have more training sessions. Okay. So there are some scheduled very soon on Windows and Mac for those of you who are using Macintosh. All right. Okay, so let me go to, can you hear me? I see sound, no sound, sound very good, bad sound. Can you hear me now? All right. Okay, great. Okay, so let me continue. So I have a few slides, as I said. I presented 2 sessions already, one on Web of Science and one on Journal Citation Reports. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jamal Wahi, based in Dubai, covering the Middle East North Africa region and working for Thomson Reuters as a product specialist. So typically I train our users, so mainly researchers, universities, faculty members, to use and to get the best out of different platforms. EndNote Online is free. Even if you're not a client of Thomson Reuters, even if you're not using Web of Science and Journal Citation Report and you use different tools, EndNote Online is free and it helps to collect and manage, share and format your references in the required format. All right, so EndNote Online, I call that as a personal digital library. So this is a place where you save and you manage all your references. Unfortunately, we still see some people writing references by hand on paper. That's not efficient. Almost everything is in electronic format right now, so you can save them and put them in a local place, and then you can reuse them later on. So there are 2 ways to access EndNote Online, directly from Web of Science, webofscience.com, or from my.endnote.com. So EndNote is integrated in Web of Science. As you can see, you click in the top, EndNote, or you go to My Tools, EndNote. Okay, so these are 2 ways to accessing EndNote directly from Web of Science. Okay, so if you click on EndNote, that will bring the endnote.com website. And as I said during the presentation on Web of Science, I advise you to register, create a profile on Web of Science. So you just register, username, which is email address and password, and you can link Web of Science to EndNote. I'll show you how to do that. So when you get into EndNote, well, that's the old design. We changed, actually it was 10th of March, it was last week, 10 days ago, more than 10 days ago now. We changed the design of EndNote just to match the design of Web of Science. But when you reach EndNote, the structure is the same. You have access to your references, okay, all your references. So in this case, I have 420 references. I have much more right now. This is an old screenshot. And you have different folders, all right? We call that group, but actually they're just folders. Think about it as a mailbox. Okay, you would have different mails. You sort your emails by folder. So this is the same story with references. So if you're working on a certain project, all right, so you get and you save your references per folder, per group, or per project. All right. I hear some beeps. Okay, I suggest that we keep the questions at the end, all right? And I'll go back to each and every question at the end of the session. Okay? So you have the first tab, which is My References. So this is the place where you save all your references. You have the format, which is very important for you as a researcher when you write and you have a manuscript, you have a paper, and you want to approach a certain journal. The journal will tell you, we use that style, okay, APH style, Harvard style, number style, whatever the style. So you need to go back to your article and format the references the way the journal wants. So you go for format, bibliography, you select the references that you need to format, or you want to format. ACS Nano, that's the style. You export, you can preview and print. In preview, you copy that and put it in your Word document. The second way is cite while you write. So in here, as you've seen, you have a tab in the top here. There's a link, Cite While You Write plugin. So you need to go there, download the file, install it. You have a version for Windows, for Word, and you have one for Mac. So you would download that program, and what it does, it adds a menu in Word. So this is Word. Okay, so you get an additional menu in Word. And EndNote Web, what it does, you go for preferences. You just need to add your account. I'll show you how to do that, username and password. And you link your EndNote. Okay, you link your EndNote with your Word. So if I'm writing a paper and I want to cite one article or one author or whatever, I would go here, find citation. So it will link and it will be able to bring the references that you have in EndNote. Okay, and automatically it will generate that reference for me. And then I can also refer to a list of papers, several papers. Okay, and I'm using a certain style. Here it's Royal Society of Chemistry. And if I'm writing a paper and I want to approach another journal, wherever, I can always change that style. Okay, so I don't need to worry about the style, the format, because EndNote Online with the plugin is already doing the job for me. Okay, I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes. Okay, so the purpose of EndNote Online is integrated with Web of Science. You can save full text in the cloud. It's up to 2 GB, and I think that's a lot when you look at the size of a full text PDF. Format reference list on the web, as I've shown you. You can do it directly in EndNote, or you can use it in Word and on Mac as well, directly in your final text. There is a free access anywhere. You don't need to subscribe to Web of Science. You can access it from anywhere. So all references are on the web. There's a user community that I'll show you right now how it works. And there's a new feature which we call manuscript. It's manuscript match. Again, I'll show you an example right now. That's the community. It's like a mix of, it's social media, I would say, for researcher. So everyone who's using EndNote Online globally is available here. All right. So I think that's pretty interesting. If you're looking for collaborators, you could go for subjects or search for people. Anyone who has access to EndNote Online globally is present on that platform that we call Connect Beta. That's still a beta version. So in here you can post messages, you can follow people, you can follow groups, and of course you can approach and contact people. All right, so well, that was just to close the loop. Conferences, journal papers, we've seen that in Web of Science, and internet for researcher ID that I will talk about beginning of April, and EndNote Online as well. Okay, so let me jump to EndNote and do a quick demo. Okay, I've seen some bits here. Okay. All right. Can you hear me? I've seen some people saying the sound is not good, and then some people saying sound is good. Can you all hear me? Yes, it's good. All right, so let me continue, and let me go to EndNote Online. So as I said, please register here, okay? And you can link Web of Science with EndNote. So if I click on EndNote here, I will get directly to EndNote here. All right. So first thing to do. So as I said, I haven't updated my screenshots, but this is the new EndNote. It's exactly the same. All right. The only thing that we've changed is the style. Okay, just to match Web of Science design, black, gray, and orange. And we have that new feature that I will show you. All right. So first thing is that we have my references, okay? So I have 1,330 references. I have several groups, okay, depending on the project that I'm working on. And in here, I can sort them, first author, title, source title, time cited, etc. The way I got those references, there are several ways. First way, you need to go to collect, okay? And you do an online search. You have access to several databases, and you have access to Web of Science, okay, different libraries. So you could search Web of Science directly from EndNote. That's one way. Web of Science core collection, you connect, so that's connecting to the database, and here you search for papers, references in EndNote. You're searching in Web of Science from EndNote. Okay, so I can search for whatever, battery, and I'll select a range of records. I don't want to retrieve everything. That's just, so it found 21,000 papers, okay, and I can decide to import only the top 20. That's just one way, all right? I don't advise to search databases here because the search will be always more powerful if you search in Web of Science rather than searching Web of Science from EndNote. So I got those papers, and then I can decide to keep them, okay, if I want to keep those, for example, and I can add them to my battery group. Okay, I'm just doing that as a demo. So that's one way. Second way is new reference, and you, instead of writing the reference, it may happen you want to cite a paper, but the paper is not available in Web of Science or other databases, and you still want to cite that paper, so don't write the references by hand on a paper. Write them here once, okay, and you save it. So you put the list of authors, the title, year, etc., the attachment if there is any attachment, and you add it to a group and you save it. Okay, so that's another way. And then there is import references from any database. Most of them, if you talk about Web of Science, PubMed, Scopus, or any type of platforms, I would say bibliographic search engines, you should be able to export first, you should be able to export first the papers from those databases and then import them into EndNote. So I'll do that. I'll do an example. Okay, I was just searching an author based in Cyprus, whatever the search that you do in Web of Science. So if you do here, okay, I've done that already. Anyway, let's do it just for the sake of the examples. So he has published those papers, and I know that I want to refer to those later on, let's say 6, 7, 8. Okay, so you should be able to do something similar from any type of database. All right, so the first option is you can save to EndNote Online directly, but I was talking about import export, so I will just save to other file format. You can save to RefWorks as well. Okay, so I click on save to other file formats. All right, and plain text. I want the full record and cited references, and I'll send. Okay, so it's generating a text file. Okay, it's generating a text file. 5 records. So it should be done in a few seconds. Okay, so as you can see, it generated that text file, which is ugly, all right, but it doesn't matter. EndNote, you say, I want to import this file, okay, and the file is coming. We need to tell EndNote that the file is coming from a certain database. Okay, so as I said, you would retrieve, for example, Medline, or you would retrieve PubMed, etc. So Refman, RIS, RefWorks. Okay, so it's coming this time from Web of Science core collection. It's just saying to EndNote, okay, this is the way that you will read the file. Okay, and I will create a new group, and I will call that Calogero, because that's the name of that author. And I create Calogero. Okay, so that's my new group, and it will import the references, 5 references, into Calogero group, and then I can have a look at that group. Okay, and I will retrieve exactly those 5 papers that I exported. Another way to do that is I will take again a few of them. Okay, you don't need to export because you're using Web of Science, and you have access to Web of Science, and you have access to EndNote Online. So first and the easiest way, and that's the way that I recommend when you want to export from Web of Science to EndNote Online, you select what you want to export, okay, and you save to EndNote Online. Okay, full record and cited references. And it's faster. You just simply send those records directly to EndNote.com, EndNote Online. So you don't need to export and then import again. Automatically, it's saving to EndNote Online. Okay? So just give it some time to export titles, references, etc. Because I asked to save the full record, not only like title abstract. I wanted to save as well the references, and you can see citations, etc. So those papers have been added to my references, those 5 or 6. So we should see more if we refresh the page. My EndNote Online account, I should see 5 more in all my references. See, it was 39. I added 5, so now it's 1,344. Okay, so this is how we collect the references. You collect from Web of Science directly to EndNote Online. If you use different platforms, you can still export, let's say, PubMed, Medline. You export to a file, text file, and then you go to collect, import references. Okay, so there are different ways to get references in EndNote. All right. Organize. Think about it as just the groups that you have. All right. So I created this one recently. Okay. I may want to get rid of this one, for example. Okay. So I simply delete this group. I'm done with this work. I can share the group. So Calogero, I can decide to share it. That's pretty useful when you work on a certain project with different authors, and you tell them, okay, EndNote Online is free, get access to EndNote Online, and we can share references in a more efficient way. So the only thing you need to do is just put the email address, so name@email.com, okay, and you give them some rights. So one email address per line. Okay, and you give them access read-only or read and write, and they will receive a notification saying Jamal Al-Wahi has shared a certain group with you, and they will have access to the same references. They have exactly the same rights as you, read and write or read-only. The only thing that they can't do is share again that group on your behalf. If they want to add someone else to that group, they need to tell you, okay, please add that person. Here is his or her email address. Okay, so this is how we share references. Others group, this is the place where you would see the groups shared with you. Find duplicates, that's pretty useful. We keep to add references again and again. Okay, so as you've seen, Calogero is an example. I've sent Calogero to papers to a text file, and then I send them again from EndNote online. So I added them twice. So EndNote is saying, okay, these look like duplicates. They may not be duplicates or real duplicates, so you would need to check, okay, title is the same, or maybe this one has an attachment, this one doesn't have, and then you decide, do you want to keep this or this one? All right. So I know these are duplicates, so I just decide to delete them. I don't want to have duplicates. Okay. Manage attachments, because you have limited memory size on EndNote Online, you have 2 GB. So in here it tells me, well, for me it's unlimited because I have EndNote Desktop, but for you, you would see here 2 GB. Okay, so I'm using that space, although I have a lot of PDFs. As you can see, I have 11 pages, so around 110 PDFs, and I'm using only 85 MB. Okay, so even 2 GB is, I think, it's more than enough. All right, so you can decide if you want to keep this one or this one, or you can delete. It's up to you. Okay, now we're talking about the format. Now we have all the references, and I'm writing my paper, I'm writing my article, and let's say I'm working on that project. I'm using his papers. Okay, let's say battery. Okay, and I'm working on a paper, and I want to use a certain style. Okay, so let's say APS6 style. All right, and I want a text file. I want to export those references into a text file using that style. I want to preview and print just to be sure that the format is the correct one. I'm happy with it. Okay, and now I can save and go to my so it should generate. Okay, export. I can copy that, and I say I write my paper. Okay, and these will be my references, and I paste my references. Okay, so this is the references in the correct format. Okay, all the references in the group battery, okay, have been exported using the APS style. Here you go. So this is using the APS style. All right. So that's bibliography. The good thing on EndNote Online is the Cite while you write plugin. This is the small program that you need to download and install. You need to download it and install it, and you would get something like that. Okay, so I'm using EndNote Desktop, but I'll show you how it works. It works pretty much the same way. Okay, I just need to delete this. Okay, I just want to delete that. So open EndNote Desktop. Okay, I hear some beeps, so I think there are some questions. Okay, I'll come back to the questions. Okay, I see a lot of people asking about certificate attendance. You will get your certificate of attendance. I mean, that's not the purpose of attending the workshop. I think you need to focus on the workshop. Saleh mentioned at the beginning that at the end of the training session, you just give your first name, last name, email address, and then it will send you the certificate. So I mean, let's focus on the training session, and then you will get your certificates. All right. And then I'll take all the questions at the end. I see some questions on EndNote, so I'll keep some time at the end. Okay. Okay. So Cite, while you write, you go to Format, you download this file, you install it, and you get something like this. All right. You get a menu in Word. It was the same way for Mac. And in Preferences here, you go to Applications, Preference Application. Okay. And for your case, that will be EndNote Online because I have access to both versions. But EndNote Online, you give that link, you give your username and password, and that will synchronize, I would say, that will be that will help you to access EndNote Online references directly from Word. All right. I didn't mention that, but in here, when you go to myendnoteweb.com, this is where you create a profile. You just need first name, last name, email address, and you get access to EndNote Online, which is free. Okay. Once you've done that, once you've done that, here I write my paper, okay, and I want to cite an author. All right. So what I do, I want to insert a citation. Okay, so I click on Find. Okay, so I was searching for water because I know that I have some references talking about water. I'm working on a project related to water treatment, and I want to cite that paper, Does Chilling Water Increase Air Cooling Operations? And I can decide to insert the whole thing, or insert and exclude the author, insert and exclude the year. I just want to insert everything. So in here, it will generate the reference for me. And sorry, I need to get rid of that. That's for later on. I'll just put this here. Okay. So that's how it works. Okay. Automatically, Word generated and brought that reference for me. And because I told Word I want to use that style, which is numbered, but I could use any kind of style, APS style, for example, it will format the reference and the way that you should cite the author in your paper. Okay? And I can cite several papers or authors. Okay, so the same story. I can select several papers. All right, and same way you click on Insert. One second. I hear some beeps again. Okay. Okay, restart the program. Sorry, I got a bug on Word. Okay, okay, sorry. All right, so I want to cite several papers. Let me do something. Cancel preferences. Okay. I want to cite several papers. So I was talking about EndNote. Okay, so if I select several papers, the way you do that, you press Control and you click and you select what you want. Okay. I don't know what's happening. My laptop is a bit slow. Okay. Okay, it looks like it's a little bit stuck. In the meantime, just give it some time. I will take the questions. Okay, I'm just going up. All right. So there was a question here. Can you please, after the session, please repeat the event in April? As I said, there is a calendar already. You just need to register, and there are some classes planned, programmed in April. Is it free of charge? Yes, it's free. You can register and you have access to EndNote online. Okay. Has attendance been taken at the beginning of the session? I already replied to that question. For the certificates, please, at the end, just give your name and email address. Is it useful on student research? Anyone who's writing articles, I think, has an interest in formatting references in the correct format. Okay. All right. Okay, so, okay, sound. Okay, I will speak slowly. How do we attach the paper with the reference? Okay, that's a good question. It's pretty easy to do that. You go to My Reference, okay, and if you have the full text or any type of file, it can be an Excel file, a note, Word document, anything. You go to the reference. Okay, let me close that. You go to the reference, and in here, attachments. You have attachments, and you can attach files or you can attach figures. Okay, so attach files, we support up to 45 or 47 type of files. So in here you can upload. I think it's 5 files at a time. So you can decide to add. Let me see, for example, products, EndNote, PDF. So that's, for example, a full text. Okay, that's an article. All right, I want to insert that file. Okay, so it will automatically add that file. So I'm now uploading that file. It can be the full text. It can be any type of file. It can be anything. Excel file, Word document, PowerPoint, anything. So now it's uploading the file. So you just need to be a little bit patient. Okay, upload complete. All right, close. And now I have the file attached to that reference. So you just need to go to attachments, click on that arrow, and attach the file. All right. Sound. Okay. How can we access Web of Science through SDL? Yeah, the session is recorded. It should be recorded, I believe. Yesterday I've done one, and Salah told me that the session was recorded. So I believe you can always refer to the recording. How can we access Web of Science through SDL? You go to SDL, all right, sdl.edu.sa. I think you should have username and password for that. You go for foreign databases in here, and Web of Science starts with W, so you go for W, and you have Web of Science ISI Thomson Reuters. Okay. Okay. Could you please repeat the point of export the references to Microsoft Word? All right. So let me go back to Word. Okay. Okay. All right. So in here, once you have downloaded, you go to Format, you go to Cite while you write plugin. That's a very important point. So please, if you can focus on that, you go and download a file. All right. You need to download what we call a plugin. You install it, and then you would get the plugin in the menu here, in Word menu. Okay. So when you write a paper, you want to cite, and you need to cite automatically. This is what we call cite while you write. So you go to Insert Citation. Okay. Insert Citation. And then you search for, because you have all your references here. Okay. You need to search and get your reference. So if you know the title already, I know my groups here because I know what I added into my references. I know that I have some references talking about battery, PXR, sushi, water, etc. Okay. So if I'm looking for sushi, all these papers are talking about sushi. Okay. And I want to click and add this one. I click on Insert. I have several options. I can insert and display as author and the year between brackets, exclude the author, exclude the year. I click on Insert. So now it has added those references. All right. And I can cite one paper only, as I said. This one, and I click on Insert. Okay. If I want to delete this one, okay, the number 2 becomes number 1. Okay, and I cite several papers or authors. So you select several, control and click. All right, and I select all of them because I already cited. Let's say this is at the end. This is at the end of my paper, and I cite again this first article. Okay, it doesn't create a new reference. It just says, okay, it's already in the reference. So this article is number 1. So I cite 1, and then I cite 3, 4, and 5. So now in Word, if you approach several journals, each journal may tell you, okay, in our journal we use that style. So you may have to change the style of your references. So that journal was using numbered style, and then the second journal is telling you we use Harvard style. Okay, automatically what you need to do is just go where you have your references and select the new style. Okay, and automatically it will change the author and how the style is supposed to be in the article. All right. How can we send our information fully for the certificate? Again, for the certificate, you need to wait until the end. As Saleh said, you give your first name, last name, and email address. Which is better, this program or Mendeley? Well, yeah, this question you can ask to Mr. Salah. I mean, I'm not comparing products. In both cases, if you have access to both, you're lucky, and then it's up to you to decide which one is better. Connection, okay. How can I cite an online by using EndNote? Also, if I have ref from book. So you search for the book. All right, you search for the book or the book chapter in Web of Science. You know that we have books as well in Web of Science. You export the reference to EndNote, or you go to EndNote if you don't find the book in Web of Science or in other databases, and you create a new reference. And you will call that, so that's a book. You go to Collect, New Reference. You say that's a book or book section. Okay. You give the list of authors, the title, series editor, all the information. okay, the abstract, DOI, etc. And that's going to be your new reference. And then in EndNote, doesn't matter if it's an article, book, conference proceeding, you can cite whatever you want as far as they are saved in EndNote online. Recording progress. I think, yeah, it's recorded anyway. Can we use EndNote with Arabic references? Yeah, that's a question that I got, I think, when I was visiting the MAM. You can write in Arabic, okay, and inside citation, it doesn't matter, all right. You just need to be careful to change your word because I'm using from left to right, okay. So in here you need to put a space and make sure that you write with word from right to left, okay. If the reference here you write in Arabic, it doesn't matter. Then okay, I purchased the EndNote program and I never hear about EndNote online. Actually, both are synchronized. The only thing between EndNote online, which is free, and the EndNote program, and I think you're lucky to have access to EndNote program, it's more powerful. There are less limitations. I'm myself using the EndNote desktop version. You can synchronize EndNote desktop and EndNote online. EndNote online, EndNote desktop is installed in your PC. EndNote online, you can access it from anywhere. It's a website, okay? So you don't need to have your machine, your PC where you installed EndNote desktop. There are few limitations on EndNote online, such as searching for the PDF or the full text. Here you could find full text. So you have few functions, few features that you have in EndNote desktop that you don't have in EndNote online. I'm talking about EndNote online because now it's part of Web of Science and it's free. All right. How can I embed EndNote in MS Office? I already replied to that. You need to download the plugin and install it. What about Arabic reference? I already replied to that question. Use the trial version. Can I rearrange the references offline? I don't understand that question. You need to have a connection to access your references. Those references are saved. They are saved on the cloud, as we say. So if you want to manage those references, you need to have access to the internet. So you need to log in and manage your references here. Which better use EndNote online or not? Didn't get the question. As I said, EndNote desktop is more powerful, but it's not free. How can I merge EndNote in Microsoft Word? I already replied to that question. Can we write my Arabic references? Yes, we can. How can I sync references? From EndNote online to EndNote desktop, here you can press the button here, synchronize library, and it does it automatically for you. Next point. What about if I have references from web but not in file? Not sure I got that question. You need to have the references in a certain file. It can be text file, HTML file, text file, refwork file, RIS file. They need to be somewhere. Otherwise, you need to put them manually in EndNote online. If I upload the file, will the EndNote recognize the necessary information for my reference list style? If I upload the file, will the EndNote recognize the necessary information? No, you need to tell EndNote from where did you get that file, your references. How can I merge EndNote in Microsoft Word? I replied to that question several times. Okay, you need to go to format, cite what you write. Okay, and you go download Windows, it's downloading a program, you install it, okay? Once it's installed, you should get it here. So I'm using EndNote desktop, but you would get EndNote web. And the only thing is you go to application and you select EndNote online, alright? Okay, and you put this link and username, which is email address, and password. By the way, it's all explained in the link that I sent you earlier, where you have the full class on EndNote. Again, the same question. The voice was away for a while. Can you please answer my question again? Can we access Webassign through SDL? Yes, I replied to that question. Yes, EndNote Online is free. The EndNote Desktop is not free of charge. No, the program is not available in Arabic. How can I manage EndNote program with LaTeX or WinEdit? EndNote, the menu is available for Windows, which is like Word, and Mac, not LaTeX. But you can export the references, bibliography here. Okay, you have the HTML text RTF. Okay, and you can export references as well in BibTeX. Okay, so I can decide to export Sushi, all the references that I have in Sushi, I can export to BibTeX export. Alright, so that's not a problem. EndNote will not be integrated with LaTeX, but you can export those references into LaTeX. Yes, EndNote Online is free on the internet. Okay. All right. How can we replay the session? I think you should check with Saleh how to get access to the recording. Okay. How can I cite while you write? I write in MacBook laptop. Is it the same? Yeah, it's the same, pretty much the same. But instead of using this program, download Windows, you would download the Macintosh, but it's the same logic. Please, you can repeat change from online to PC. I didn't get that point. Please, you can repeat change from online to PC. Okay. So you go to format and you want to export. So from online, you want to export some references that you saved, okay, and you want to export to, let's say, EndNote export or refman, and that will generate a file with all the references. So that's exporting references. If you want to export bibliography, like style, okay, so you select the references that you want to export. You decide on the style, okay, let's say, I don't know, whatever, okay, and then I want the text file or HTML, and here I can preview to make sure that it's the correct format, correct style, and then I export, okay, and it will generate a file for me here, okay, so it should generate. So that's the correct style. If you don't want to use Cite while you write, you can still use that as your references. There is one important point that I want to show you. Connect Beta, well, you understand it's just social media for researcher directly in EndNote, and in here you have access to all the people who have access to EndNote Online. So it's very important for collaboration, I would say. Okay, so you go to Connect Beta. One thing that I want to show you, okay, it's a new feature that we came in recently. It's what we call match, okay, manuscript match. Let me close this, and I close this one as well. So in here, that's as I said, So for example, that person, okay, very quickly, I just want to see who's that person. So I would get access to his profile. So it's still loading. Okay, so this person is based in Ireland. His email address is research services and bibliometrics, specialties, etc. Okay, so I can contact that person. I can find people. Everyone who has access to EndNote Online globally is available through Connect Beta. Much new. Let's say that I'm writing an article, okay, chemistry of gluten proteins, and I have my abstract, and okay, so that's my abstract, and I need to know. I ask EndNote what is the best fit journals for my manuscript. So we are using Web of Science data and journal citation report data, and we have an algorithm which will look at your title and your abstract, and we will find journals. And we'll find journals, and we see Web of Science and EndNote is telling us that this is an excellent fit. And we give the impact factor, 2013, and the impact factor of 5 years. Based on my keywords, I see the match between my article and that journal. So we found similar articles, 2 similar articles. We have another journal of Cerebral Science. Okay. For the first journal, we even give the rank of that journal. It's a Q1 journal. It's ranked number 3 in Applied Chemistry and number 6 in Food Science and Technology. All right. And here we have a second journal, 4 articles that you can have a look at since you have access to Web of Science. So it's a Q2 journals, and we retrieve some of the keywords that I use in my abstract, in my title. And these are the publisher information. So in total, I found 4 journals that match my manuscript based on my title and my abstract. Next question is, which journal shall I approach to submit my paper? So here we just give few indications. All right. We just have like an algorithm which goes to Web of Science and search for all the keywords and different things, and we say, okay, that's an excellent match, and we give the impact factor and the similar articles. So that's pretty new. I advise you to use that when you are about to submit your paper. Okay, you have access to the journal information, and you can submit. It's not submitting the paper; it will just bring the submit page. Okay, so this journal, food hydrocolloids. Okay, so that's an Elsevier journal. All right, so that's the submit page. Okay, you're not submitting from EndNote. We just bring, as it says, view the journal submission page. All right. Are you going to, okay, 1 second, there are several questions. How can we replay the session? I already answered that. You need to get the recording from Saleh. Yeah, I already replied to this one as well. Can we have a singing training session after we create our accounts and prepare our references so we can practice it live? As I said, you have access to several trainings. I'll send you that link. Please register. It's free and it's public. Okay, so any clients, you go to endnote.com training, you have the videos and you have the calendar here. Okay, in the bottom here, you have, for example, tomorrow, EndNote fast start for Windows, desktop and online, etc. So you just need to register to the training session that match. It's either from the US or London. Just check the timing. Okay, so that you can attend. Okay. If I did my references using EndNote, is it possible for my colleagues to get the articles that I have included in my draft, even those that Web of Science doesn't contain, if they have an account in EndNote? Yes, exactly. You can. You go to organize, okay, and you go to My Groups, and in here you put your references, even though the ones that are not available in Web of Science, and you decide to share. So this one I can share it, all right? So you create a group and you share it. So with your colleagues, the only thing that you need to do, get their email address. Okay, let's say you have 5 colleagues, so you'd have the first email address, the second, the third, etc. So you need to write all the email address, and you give them read and write rights, and you click apply. So they will receive a notification saying that Mohammed Ali Al-Turki has shared with you some references. Okay. Are you going to give another lecture like this? When? As I already replied, please go to training, EndNote, endnote.com/training, register to those classes. There is a plan to visit several Saudi universities, and every time we visit Saudi institution, we show Web of Science journal citation reports and EndNote as well, along with researcher ID. So if you are on that list, there may be a chance to visit Saudi institution. But we do those online workshops, I think, 2 or 3 times a year. I've done one in December, so maybe later in 2015 we will do again those online workshops. Can you upload the course which can help us to enter again? Okay, so you have that first link. Okay, you have the videos, and you have this one. Okay, for EndNote Online, you have a full class. Okay, you have a full class, and you have this one which explains the manuscript matcher. So, okay, this is the full class. So if you're a bit lost and because of issues with connection or sound, you have the full class here, 1 hour explaining everything. Can you upload? Okay. Could it be possible to read the reference info from PDF file? That's possible from EndNote desktop, not from EndNote Online. I can show you how it would work if you have access to EndNote desktop. It's pretty easy. Reference. Okay. You go to import file PDF. That's a PDF, but it could be everything. It could be EndNote, could be PubMed, could be RIS tab, EndNote import, etc. So I just need to import a PDF. Okay, so I'll go for this one, product database. I know that I have few PDFs. Okay. All right. So that's a full article. Okay. So if you have access to the EndNote, no translation, duplicate, and I import. So this one. Okay. Let me import another one. It will try to read the article. So this one is talking about Ebola. So it went and it read the article. So it understood that this is the title, Ebola, should we consider influenza vaccination? And then it read the paper and it found the date, the DOI, the references, the full text. It found the list of authors, the affiliation, etc. So it's just reading the article and say it has been published in Nancy, volume 384, the page, the date, the ISSN, the keywords, the notes, even the URL, how to get access to the PDF. So these are the kind of stuff that you can do with EndNote desktop, but you can't do, unfortunately, with EndNote Online. Okay, think about it as a free program, and you will always have a program that you need to buy a license to have access to more features. Okay, so that answers, could it be possible to read a reference info from PDF file? That's EndNote desktop, not EndNote online. What about references sharing with colleagues? I already replied to that. Can you please show us again how we can attach our references? Yes, sure. You go to EndNote, you go to My Reference, and you go to any kind of reference. So let's say this one, okay. And in here you have attachment. You click on attachment, and you click attach file. You wait for a few seconds until you get that menu, and you attach whatever you want. All right, and then you upload. Okay, so you need to wait a little bit and until it gets uploaded. All right, so you open the reference, you go to attachment. Okay, I'll just close this. Okay, and you click on attachment, attach file, or attach figure. Okay. What about Arabic journals? What does that mean? I didn't get that question. Any type of journal, it can be Chinese, Russian, it works fine. But when you use, if you refer to that function, match, it will search in Web of Science core collection journals. Okay? Not everything. It will search for Web of Science core collection using journal citation report data. All right. So in Web of Science core collection, if we have journals in any language, it will find that journal. Okay. If we paste the Arabic abstract, would it show the Arabic journals? Very good question. If the journal, as I said, is indexed in Web of Science, yes. If it's not, there is no way that we can find those Arabic journals. Well, I already replied to the last question, Dr. Marwa. I replied twice. How to access Web of Science through SDL? You go to sdl.edu.sa. Okay. You go to foreign or English databases, and you go to W, and you have Web of Science here. So first step is go to sdl.edu.sa, then or directly to this link. Okay, go to letter W, and then you see Web of Science in the second position. I replied, but yeah, just so that the sound was off. I don't know, maybe you had some issues with the sound. Okay, is there any other question related to EndNote? EndNote online, or even Web of Science, or anything else? So for your certificates, because we got that question several times, certificates, you need to check with Saleh. You give him your email address so that he can generate the certificates for you. All right. Okay. Again, for additional training, please keep those links. Okay, that's the first one. And that's the second one. That's where you need to go. That's where you need to go for additional training. Okay. For EndNote, I would recommend the second one, endnote.com/training. You have more and more content. Amin, thank you, Bushra. Amin. Wayakum. Thank you very much. Thanks for your presence, and thanks for the interaction and for all the the questions. I really appreciate. If you have any question, feel free to ask me. I'm available on shown that at the end on LinkedIn. You can search for my name. Okay, you can search for my name on LinkedIn and add me and get in touch with me. I don't have any issue with that. All right. Thank you all. Take care. Have a nice night and talk to you soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Well, thank you, Mr. Jamal. Thank you for that. أرجو أنه ما أحد يخرج حتى نخزن أسماء. شكرا لحضوركم. في ملاحظة بسيطة فقط. الصوت واضح معكم؟ جزاكم الله خيرا جميعا. نعم طيب. أرجو من أي شخص دخل باسم واحد زي زهراني اللي رافع يدك ثالث، ترى ما أقدر أميزك في السيستم، فأرجو أنك ترسل لي إيميل بالاسم الثلاثي المسجل لدينا على أساس يتم إرسال الشهادة الآن. أي شخص دخل أيضا باللغة العربية لابد إنه يرسل لي إيميل، لأنه ما يطلع اسمه في التخزين اللي أنا خزنته قبل شوي. أنا ماخذ صورة من هذا فيديو مسجل طبعا، ولكن على أساس تصلكم الشهادة الآن. أي سؤال أو استفسار عن المكتبة الرقمية السعودية عن هذه الدورة احنا حاضرين معكم لبعض الوقت. شكرا لحضوركم جميعا. إذا في أي استفسارات أنا جاهز حكون معكم، يسعدني أني أرد عليها. شكرا لكم جميعا ونلتقي إن شاء الله في دورات أخرى. طبعا